This is the last gimbal you will ever need. Making sure the white geese aren't up on me because they attack. Those white geese attack, dude. Tall geese, Gundam wing. So we're gonna see how much wind resistance it can take by pointing this out the moonroof of my car. What's going on, my guys? It's your boy Malcolm Eugene, and technically, I'm a supervillain. Now, today we're gonna have a little bit of fun because I have some new toys over here from Zhiyun. This is their brand new Crane 2S, the successor to their most legendary Crane 2 gimbal that was released back in, I wanna say, 2017. Now, they have made multiple improvements to this gimbal in comparison to their predecessor that I'm gonna get into in this video. This is a sponsored video, but I'm gonna give an honest review, not a biased review because, you know, integrity purposes. But anyway, let's talk about their new two-stage quick release system. I got a camera mounted on here. Well, first I'll tell you what it is. Sony a7 III inside of a cage with the Tamron 70 to 180 lens here, zoom lens. I'm gonna take this out of off the gimbal itself now. So this is their new two-stage quick release system here. It's not bad. What's cool about it is you can actually mount another plate here. So if you're taking it off of your gimbal, you can actually put this directly on your tripod or rig or whatever and continue shooting in that format. One downside, this giant thing sticking out here. You got to be cognizant of it because it is there. And that's how it kind of mounts into the gimbal there. But I guess you can use it as another form of stabilization if you are hand-holding shots. But like I said, it is two-stage. You flip that little lever there, and that slides out, and then that is your standard Manfrotto plate that'll go into any Manfrotto tripod head or anything like that. What's cool about this, though, is in this form factor, now you can take this camera that was mounted like that, so you can mount it in a vertical fashion like that for your Instagram stories or for the youngsters and their TikToks, because you know the youngsters are always on the TikTok. Now let's talk about the motors. Zhiyun, they really are marketing these motors as having a new algorithm to where they're able to handle stronger payloads. Of course, they never tell you the exact payload that these can handle, but on their website, they do give you kind of a list of example camera and lens setups that you would be able to essentially put on this gimbal. You'll notice that my motor is not blocking my screen. You know why? Because I moved it. When you get this shipped to you, in the box, it will have this extension arm attached, and your motor will be essentially blocking your screen like on the older Crane 2. But Zhiyun does give you the tools, the Allen wrenches, to be able to remove the 12 screws in order to remove this arm and move your motor down. Of course, there are videos on the internet right now. I know one from Momentum Productions, and I think there's even one on Zhiyun's channel that show you how to do that. Go watch those videos. This is not a tutorial for that. But the fact that they gave you the option to do that is amazing. Should it have came like that by default? Probably. I'm not sure if having this is going to allow you to accommodate bigger camera setups or not, but who knows? There's a reason why we have this. The motors also have these new big and bold access locks. You won't be able to miss these. You can be fumbling around in the dark to lock your or unlock your access, and you won't miss these. These feel very, very robust. And they work. I know I have this is the Weeble S here, and their locks are not as robust, if you say. But then again, this is a smaller gimbal, so of course they can't put anything crazy on here. The motors are great. The new two-step Quick release plate is amazing. Now let's get a little bit farther down the gimbal. Of course, they got your follow focus here on the side for following the focus of your focus follow. That's what that's for. It does feel incredibly smooth and very, very grippy. I do like the texture of it. It's very similar to what's on the Weeble S. You're also getting a bigger OLED display. So this is going to display what mode you're in, and also different things like if you were going through your camera settings and changing motor strength and all that stuff. Of course, your handle is going to be a carbon fiber handle, which is a nice aesthetic. And of course, your mini tripod, which you can unscrew here. But let me show you something that I haven't seen in any of the reviews on the internet. So on the bottom of the gimbal here, you do have a place for pin locks. So you'll notice on this tripod, it does not have pin locks. But on the older tripods, such as the one from the Weeble or the Weeble S, it does have a locking pin on it. So what that allows me to do is to screw this in, lock the pin, and that tripod's not going anywhere, which I like having that. So that's probably what I'm going to roll with for this. Now let's talk about the type of batteries this takes. I'm just going to unscrew this here. So this gimbal takes 3 18650 batteries, and it'll run this gimbal for about 12 hours. And I put an asterisk next to that because I'm pretty sure it's very, very dependent on what your setup you're actually running. Of course, heavier setups is probably going to be less than 12 hours, but 12 hours is what they advertise, so 12 hours is what I'm going to say. Now, let's get this thing powered on. So, one cool feature that this crane has that was implemented from some previous versions is that they actually gave you auto tune in the gimbal. So what that actually means is when you actually enter this mode, the gimbal is going to calibrate the motors based off of what type of setup you have on this camera, giving the motors the most optimal strength. One thing you have to do when you first turn on this gimbal is you do have to activate it. So in order to do that, you do have to download the ZY Play app from the App Store. Of course, it's going to ask you to set up an account, email, password, whatever, and then you're going to be able to activate your gimbal. The app does allow you to do a lot more advanced moves and techniques that you're not going to be able to do directly on the gimbal itself. So the app is going to allow you to do things like set key points for time lapses and panoramic shots, and even do motion control stuff with your phone. I'm feeling like a Sith Lord now. Another thing that the app's going to allow you to do, and I don't have all the components to do this, but you can do what they call is image transmission. So there's a little module that I believe you hook on to the bottom of the actual carriage itself. You plug it into your camera, then you get your phone, open the app, and basically you're going to be able to see what your camera sees on your phone as an external monitor. And what's cool about that is Zhiyun has included a lot of pro tools for professional filmmakers with very low latency. So I'll say all that to say this. This is an incredibly premium looking and feeling gimbal compared to some of the competition out there. Very, very sleek, very, very professional looking. The operation of the gimbal is very smooth and very simple. So when you first turn this on, it's going to be in pan follow mode. See you going left and right, go down, nothing happens. Hit the little mode button once, it'll put it in lock mode. Now nothing moves. You can do that all day long. Hit it one more time, it'll put it back in pan follow mode. Hit the mode button twice, it'll put it in POV mode. Now you can samurai jack this thing like crazy. And go just about every angle you wanted. And then from POV mode, hit the mode button twice from there. It'll put it in vortex mode. And now we can have some nice little inception shots. There is a trigger button on here that I'm not too big of a fan of because you see how recessed it is. Yeah, it's hard to get to. It's not as tactile as other gimbals like the Crane 3S or even the Weeble series. Say you can control tilt in the pan follow mode. You hit that little button twice. it'll bring it back to normal, which is pretty cool. On the mode dial, if you hit the mode dial, 3 times, it'll put it into go mode. Now that maxes out all of your motor strength, so you can literally just catch all the action at any given time, which is pretty cool. If you're in pan follow mode, you hold the trigger, that'll put in follow mode, and now it'll follow whatever actions you give your gimbal except for the roll. If you hit the button 3 times or trigger 3 times, selfie mode, because I'm totally gonna vlog with this thing. Ow, but look at that shoulder muscle, dude. That's what it takes to handle this, man. Now let's talk about the ergonomics. Ergonomically, it's gonna be very similar to the Crane 2, as it is a single grip, pistol grip gimbal. The fact that when you get it and you get it shipped to you, the motor is up here by default, I think that's a little bit of a con. You do have to move that if you want it not to block your screen. But like I said, they give you the option to do that. But the fact that it doesn't come default, that's kind of a little bit of a con for me. But that's just a personal preference. The on-gimbal controls make this very, very ergonomical and easy to work with in the field, especially when you need to make changes on the fly. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm gonna change my pan speed down significantly. So it was at 60, I'm gonna take it down to 20. Now my pan should be significantly slower. That'll help me keep my subject where I want it to while I'm walking. So the app is a huge upgrade in comparison to what it used to be. I mean, Zhiyun's come a long way with their app, and it's a lot more reliable than what it used to be. Probably the biggest con of this entire gimbal, and maybe it's not just this gimbal, maybe it's how they're implementing it, future gimbals, but the fact that you open this up, you put batteries in it, you turn it on, and you can't use it until it's activated through the app, I think is the biggest pain in the butt, in my opinion. Like, make an account and everything. I have 1,000 accounts to different things that I don't really use much, but I feel like that really takes you out of the experience just a little bit. Overall, do I recommend this gimbal? First of all, if you're upgrading from the Crane 2, yeah. If you're shooting DSLR, mirrorless, and think of ever upgrading to a cinema camera, a mini cinema camera, you can't go like all out Ari Alexa on this thing, but you know, a Canon C200, C300, something like that. This is the last gimbal you will ever need. Is there a reason why you shouldn't buy this gimbal? Well, if you already own, say, the Crane 3S or don't shoot video at all, then you probably shouldn't buy this gimbal. But if you want to buy this gimbal, there will be a link down in the description below to pre-order this gimbal on Amazon. It's an affiliate link, so I do get a kickback. Of course, you guys aren't getting charged anything extra for it. You're going to be paying the price. Price, $599.99 US. So $600 gets you the gimbal, of course, with all the accessories such as all your camera cords for compatible cameras, Allen keys and screws, charger, 3 of these batteries, tripod, and your already attached extension arm. All in the package for 600 bucks. Is it worth it? I say it is. And with that said, my name is Malcolm Eugene. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it a comment down below. Let me know if you want to see any kind of test and other torture test for this gimbal. And well, I'm gonna just go out and have some fun and try to get to it. With that said, I am out. Peace. What's up, guys? Make sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. And of course, if you're viewing this on YouTube, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know exactly when I'm posting next.